One of the things I'm fascinated by Leeds. I spoke to Jack about it as well, and I overhear from people like, you know, the weightlifting, the grapevines. Like I overhear Jack said he loved it. Some people say they absolutely hated it. They hated training twice a day. I mentioned no names, but what did you think of it?
It was strange for me. I'd gone from being here and just training part-time. I'd training 4, maybe 5 times a week.
Yeah.
To go into that, Tamas didn't put me on the same amount of sessions as everyone else when I first got there. Like, he would have just broken me. But I started off doing, whereas they were on double sessions, I'd do the double sessions.
Yeah.
But like, obviously, intensity was down, volume was down. And then I'd miss maybe a Tuesday session, miss maybe a Saturday session or a Friday afternoon session. Excuse me. And he just broke me into it over about 4 weeks. And I can remember phoning on, and like my hands were hurting, like my hands were just ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
And I had bruises the size of dinner plates on the front of my legs. Now my legs ain't very big, so you can imagine.
Cleans as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how big these bruises looked on my legs. But as an experience, I enjoyed it. I loved training with Ben and Jack. It was after a little while we started to have banter.
Yeah.
At first, it wasn't quite there, but then it was almost like I had to be accepted. Like that, like they'd lived there for a while already.
Right,
like, you know what I mean? And like I lived in a different house to them. I lived down the road. I lived with Tash and Helen Jewell, whereas they lived in a big house with Zoe and Hannah and eventually Ali. And I liked it. It was nice.
Do you think it's possible, let's just say British weightlifting won the lottery and they had an ongoing supply of money, do you think it's possible to train in that environment full time, or do you think the performances wouldn't get any better? Do you think as Great Britain basically would have a better team, if we had a high performance centre with, I don't know, top 10 Sinclairs, man and female, training there all year round, do you think we'd be any better, or is it a non-issue for you?
Yeah, I think we'd be better, but are British weightlifting solely going to focus on one thing again? Or are they going to still look to develop? Like, I want to try and say this without getting myself in trouble.
Yeah.
They need to focus on the bigger picture rather than just what's going on in that.
Right. Yes.
In that high performance.
The development of the sport as well.
Yeah. So it depends on whether they used all their money on that high performance centre or whether.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? But
if we just took, so if let's just say in the perfect world, you had that, everything else was focused on, and then you had the performance centre. Do you think that's a nice stepping stone for athletes to aim for?
Definitely. I think you would have to. You wouldn't be able to do it with one head coach.
No. I
think you'd have to have a number of coaches. That's obviously another commitment that you've got to get people.
Yeah.
You know, coaches there full time. You're always going to get one or two lifters that don't get on with a coach as well as, you know, other lifters. You're going to get some lifters that don't get on with other lifters at all as well. Yeah. So, you know, it's a fine balance. I don't think you can put, say, 10, 20 people over 3 houses.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There'd have to be option there for people to live different, sort of like live out of shared accommodation, live in shared accommodation, but all sort of around a hub.
Right, I got you. So, fast forward to the games. Obviously, you qualified along with Jack and Peter Kirkbride and the male side of things. You told me a really good story about the day of the race when you were all excited. Can you share that story with everyone? Because I thought it was mint and hilarious at the same time as well.
The day of the...
Yeah, when you got up and you were all excited and Tamas and Dave were there.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Yeah, I packed my bag the night before. I decked my room out. It was funny because we got into the apartment and it was 2 single rooms and a double room.
Yeah.
Now Jack and Pete got into the apartment before me and bagged the single rooms, and I was thinking, who am I going to have this? There's just going to be some random in a thing. Yeah. So I had the biggest room, but no one turned up.
Oh, that's right.
So ultimately ended up with the biggest room, decked it out, Welsh flag, had my Wrexham kit hanging up on the wall and all this. And the night before I lifted, I remember I packed my bag. I'd phoned my mum. I spoke to Hannah. I just called around a few mates, like, you know what I mean? I was getting a little bit like, oh, I just needed something to do in the evening.
Yeah.
And I went to sleep that night, and do you know what? It was possibly one of the best night's sleep I've ever had before a competition. I think it was nice because we'd been bedded up there for a little while as well. Like, it wasn't like when I got flown out to the World Championships in 2014, 2 days before I lifted, and was still like awake at 3 in the morning the night before I lifted.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was cosy. We'd had lots of time to settle in, and it did feel like a little home from home. Packed my bag, got up in the morning, early bus. I was downstairs waiting, like, Dave Sawyer and Tamas, like, where are they? Bouncing outside the block, and they turned up. I was ready to go, like, right, let's go and do this Olympic Games, like. And we got on the bus, got to the venue, and I was just bantering Dave, just living life.
Dave Sawyer, this is for anyone.
Yeah, bantering Dave.
Dangerous Dave Sawyer.
Living life. We got to the venue, and everything was great. You know, lifters turning up. You know, there's loads going on around the venue. Going in the back door, you feel dead special, like. You know what I mean? And getting weigh in, still giving it loads, like. You know what I mean? I'd had breakfast before I'd weighed in. Had another breakfast after I'd weighed in, and everything was good in the world. And then I got put in this little room, and it was like partitions.
Yeah.
So it was like a room within a room, and there was just like 20 physio beds in there, and there's the Venezuelan boys just lying there, a towel over his face, and the South Korean boy's got a towel over his face, and a Thai lad's got a towel, and they're all lying there, like, you know, a bit like a morgue, do you know what I mean? Like, no one's doing anything. And I'm just wired with excitement, like, so we're sitting down, and I don't care about, like, them, like, I'm still going to talk loud and have a laugh with Dave and that. So, got my bag down by the side of me, and Dave and Sam asked, go, right, we're off for a brew.
Yeah.
What you on about? where you going? Don't leave me. So anyway, they've disappeared for a brew, and I just sat there, and it all kind of just sunk in what was about to happen. I've never ever felt so ill in all my life, and I just sat there, and I was just like, they left me. What's going on? And my mind just started just working overtime, and I just got so scared. I remember thinking, like, the Olympic Games, this is. What am I supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
You know, you go to a British Champs, and you know everyone there, and you're bantering about and doing whatever you want. European Championships, you know, you don't get stuff like that. You literally weigh in, and then you go and chill out, and then, what's going on? This is all new to me. But this doesn't happen at Europeans. You know, I'm just being left in this room with all these other, like, sleeping people. So I ended up phoning Dave and telling him I needed the toilet, and could he come and watch my stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't need the toilet, I just wanted Dave back.
Yeah.
Dave's like, anyone who knows Dave, he's like the dad of the team, like, do you know what I mean?
Big
like,
hands.
Yeah, he's got massive hands, and Dave will make you feel like everything's alright, like, do you know what I mean? So I phoned Dave. Dave, can you get back to this room? Like, I need the loo. I just want you to watch my stuff. Aye, alright, pal. So, you know, straight away, like, Dave's coming back, sound. So I disappeared, come back, and luckily they stayed in the room then, and I got changed and went into the warm up, and just as soon as I saw the cameras and got my kit on, you know, taped up and stuff like that, like, I was just buzzing again. And I can just remember the camera coming round, and I'm just doing what I do, acting like an absolute fool, like, pulling faces. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear then. Pulling faces, and went out on the stage for the presentation, and there wasn't that many people there. And I thought, It's not too bad.
Mm.
And then I can remember waiting to come out for my first lift, and they said my name, and I just heard this noise, and I thought, what is that?
Mm.
And I walked out the door and chalked my hands. And I made a point of not looking around, because I didn't want to. I heard the noise, and I didn't want to get sort of like overawed with it all. And I chalked my hands up, and I looked at nothing but the bar. I walked up to the platform, got my first snatch in. And I can remember standing up with my first snatch and still not really taking in what was around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I dropped that first snatch, and I just took a step back and looked around, and there's like 5,500, 6,000 people just going nuts.
Yeah.
Whoa, this is what it's all about, like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And possibly take out my little girl being born, it is the most outrageous thing I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? Not many people get that, do they?
Absolutely outrageous. As I can't even explain
Yeah, I know.
what it's like. I'd gone the day before to watch Zoe, and I thought I'd get a little bit of a feel for it. But when you're in the noise, it doesn't sound the same as when you're in front of it.
Yeah, and the noise is directed at you, and
Yeah, and it was mad because straight away I picked Ray out of the crowd.
yeah,
And I came out for the lifts, and I could hear him over the crowd. Do you know what I mean?
what's he saying? Reach.
He's you know, everyone who knows me calls me Pin.
Yeah,
It's like my nickname. I could hear him shouting it, and he's with like my two mates, and my mum and dad are at the side, and there's Welsh flags everywhere and stuff. You know what I mean? It was just a special day. I think because it's going to be special for any athlete, but when I look back at it, what I left, and like I left full-time work, I left my daughter, like I sacrificed like a lot of things to go and give it a shot. And when it all paid off, it was special.